Welcome back to Talk Tickers, where we break down earnings calls so you don't have to.
That's right.
And today,
Yeah.
we're diving deep into Veeva Systems Q4 2025 results.
Big one.
They're a major player in cloud solutions for life sciences, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
this call was buzzing.
Huge.
They absolutely smashed their guidance and ended their fiscal year strong.
Market definitely liked what they heard.
Sure.
But before we get into the details, let's give everyone a quick snapshot of those headline numbers.
Perfect. Hit me with the highlights.
So Veeva closed Q4 with a massive $721 million in revenue.
Wow.
And their non-GAAP operating income came in at a very impressive $308 million.
All right. Impressive indeed.
Yeah.
So let's unpack what fueled these numbers, starting with their clinical business.
Okay.
What were the standouts there for you?
You know what's really interesting?
Yeah.
Is that Veeva scored a huge win.
Yeah.
With a top 20 pharma company who chose to implement their entire clinical suite.
Oh, wow.
And this isn't just about selling software licenses. This is about becoming the backbone of how these companies manage their clinical trials.
So they're really going for that one-stop shop approach.
Exactly.
Is that putting pressure then on companies like IQVIA,
Oh, absolutely.
who have more of those piecemeal solutions?
For sure. And it seems to be working because Veeva really highlighted the success of their integrated ETMF. So that's electronic trial master files.
Right.
And their CTMS, which is clinical trial management systems.
Yeah.
By combining these, they're offering the smoother,
Yeah.
more streamlined way to manage these trials,
Yeah.
which is a huge pain point for these companies.
I bet less hassle, less room for error, potentially even faster trials.
Right.
Is that the kind of value proposition that's really resonating with those large pharma companies?
It really seems to be.
Okay.
And it's not just the big players, you know?
Okay.
They're also expanding their product line with new offerings like Site Connect, which helps improve communication between research sites,
Yeah.
and study training aimed at making training more efficient.
Gotcha.
Both of these really speak to Veeva's commitment to making clinical trials run smoother and faster.
Makes sense. And I remember they were talking about opportunities in clinical data management,
Yeah.
particularly in areas like EDC and RTSM.
Yes, EDC,
Yeah.
which is electronic data capture.
Right.
It's basically the heart of how data is collected and managed in those clinical trials.
Okay.
And then RTSM stands for Randomization and Trial Supply Management,
Got it.
which helps ensure the right patients are getting the right treatments and that the supply chain is managed well.
Okay.
So Veeva sees a huge future in these areas.
Yeah.
And they're putting a lot of resources into staying ahead there.
Makes sense. So let's shift gears a little bit to Veeva's Data Cloud.
Okay.
I feel like this is where things are really heating up.
Yeah, you're right. There's definitely a growing buzz around Compass, and particularly Compass Patient, which has already secured over 100 brand implementations.
Okay, 100 brand implementations. That's serious traction.
Absolutely.
But, a lot of investors, I think, are really looking for those big enterprise license agreements, the ELAs.
ELAs, yeah.
Any indication of those on the horizon?
Not quite yet, but Veeva does anticipate them
Right.
to be a big growth driver as Compass matures.
Okay. So the potential is there, it just hasn't fully materialized?
Exactly, but here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
They're not just focusing on landing those huge companies.
Right.
They're also very committed to serving smaller biotech firms with Compass
Okay.
and really recognizing their need for these high-quality data solutions.
Interesting. So they're playing a bit of a long game here, building that trust,
Yeah,
establishing themselves as that go-to data solution provider
for sure.
across the entire life sciences industry.
Across the whole...
That's a smart strategy.
It really is. It really speaks to their understanding of how the industry is changing.
For sure.
But there's another piece of this puzzle we got to talk about.
All right.
AI.
Oh, yeah. You're telling me everyone's talking about AI these days?
Yeah, it's the hot topic.
I'm really curious how Veeva is incorporating it into their offerings.
So unlike some companies that seem to be,
Yeah.
chasing every shiny new AI thing that comes out,
Right.
Veeva is taking this much more measured approach.
Okay.
They're really focused on building targeted AI solutions for very specific use cases within their existing workflows.
Okay. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel,
Right.
they're making the existing wheel smarter.
Exactly. And they've already got AI solutions up and running,
Oh, cool.
like the ETMF bot,
Yeah.
which helps automate document classification.
Cool.
And they teased some upcoming releases like CRM voice control.
Oh, wow.
which would let sales reps interact with CRM systems using just their voice.
Correct.
And a COM bot to automate tasks and highlight key insights.
So it seems like they've been strategically biding their time, waiting for the AI landscape to mature a bit before they jump in.
You got it.
Very smart.
Yeah, by waiting.
Yeah.
They can really capitalize on those more stable and reliable AI technologies.
Okay.
And that lets them build more effective solutions.
Very smart play, shows that they're thinking long term.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they're making waves in clinical solutions. Their data cloud is gaining momentum, and they're playing the long game with AI.
Right.
But what about that big transition to Vault CRM?
Yeah.
This has been a major storyline for a while.
Yeah, it has.
Where do things stand with that?
So the transition is going as planned.
Okay.
They expect to make more customer announcements throughout 2025.
Okay.
They also emphasize that they're not forcing migrations,
Right.
but they are confident that the vast majority of those top 20 pharma companies will have made their decision by the end of 2026.
So they're being customer-centric, letting companies transition at their own pace. But it sounds like they're also dropping some hints that the clock is ticking.
Right. They even mentioned this concept of a red zone, suggesting that companies that wait too long risk delays and disruptions down the road.
I see.
So it's a clever way to create urgency without being pushy.
And to make the transition even smoother.
Right.
They've also made some big strides in automating those data migration processes.
That's right. Taking away the friction
Yeah.
makes it easier.
Make that jump, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. Their clinical momentum.
We have.
Progress with Data Cloud.
Yeah.
Strategic approach to AI. That ongoing transition to Vault CRM.
Right.
But what about the bottom line?
Yeah.
How did all of this translate into their financial performance?
So Veeva projected strong growth for fiscal year 2026.
Okay.
And they reiterated their commitment to investing in continued expansion.
Not surprising given everything we've talked about.
Right.
But what really struck me was their emphasis on efficiency. It's not just about, boosting margins, but it's about driving faster execution, better agility across all of their teams.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
They see that efficiency as a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Enabling them to innovate faster, respond to the market quicker.
And it seems to be paying off.
For sure.
That expanding product portfolio.
Yeah.
The increased customer trust. And the economies of scale they're achieving with Veeva Vault platform.
It all contributes.
All contributing to their impressive margin strength.
It really is. They're firing on all cylinders right now.
They are.
Operationally and financially.
So a really comprehensive overview of Veeva's Q4 performance sounds like they're in a very strong position.
I'd say so, but this is just one quarter.
Right.
Life sciences industry is always changing.
Of course.
Always challenges and opportunities on the horizon.
Very true. That's why we need to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
And think about Veeva's performance in the context of those broader industry trends.
Right.
And any potential headwinds that might be out there.
For sure. There's a lot of uncertainty out there right now about potential changes to government policies and research funding.
Right.
But Veeva seems very well positioned to navigate all that.
And that's because their products are so deeply integrated into the core operations of these life sciences companies.
It's mission critical stuff.
Yeah.
Not so easy to just cut. Yeah.
Yeah, less susceptible to those fluctuations in research budgets.
Exactly. Plus their revenue model.
Yeah.
Which is based on those really sticky annual subscriptions.
Right.
Provides a great deal of predictability. Which investors love.
They do. All right, so before we jump into part 2 of this deep dive.
Right.
Let's have a little fun with our This Is Not Financial Advices segment.
Okay.
Are you ready to put on your hedge fund hat?
I'm always game for that.
All right.
Let's hear it. Okay, so how about this? Short IQVIA.
Oh, wow.
One of the big players in healthcare data, analytics,
Oh.
and go long Veeva with a long-term horizon.
All right, that is bold shorting a company like IQVIA.
It is.
I mean, they've been around forever.
Yeah, they have.
What's the thinking there?
So think of it as betting on a changing of the guard, right? IQVIA might be this established giant,
Right.
but they've been slow to adapt to the cloud.
Okay.
And they haven't really embraced this trend toward these integrated solutions that's really sweeping through life sciences.
Okay.
So that's where Veeva has the advantage.
Gotcha. So we're essentially betting that Veeva is going to eat their lunch in the data and analytics space.
Pretty much.
That's a big claim.
It is a big claim, but look at the evidence, right?
Right.
Veeva is winning over these big pharma clients with Vault CRM.
Right.
And that really gives them a foot in the door to then offer their data cloud solutions.
So,
IQVIA is playing catch up with their cloud offerings.
yeah.
And that puts them at a real disadvantage.
So it's not just about the technology itself,
Right.
but how Veeva is really positioning themselves
It's the whole package.
as that go-to partner
Yep,
for these life sciences companies looking to modernize.
exactly.
Yeah.
Veeva is selling a vision of this more efficient, data-driven future for life sciences.
Oh.
They get it.
Yeah.
They understand the needs, and they're building solutions that are tailored to those workflows.
I see the logic.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a second. There's always a chance this could blow up in our faces.
Always.
What are the biggest risks to this trade idea?
Okay, there are a few. So first,
Right.
IQVIA is huge.
Right.
They have a lot of resources.
Yeah.
They could acquire a smaller competitor,
Okay.
invest heavily to catch up on the cloud front, or even just slash prices to make things hard for Veeva.
Yeah.
So we can't underestimate their ability to fight back.
For sure. And what about the overall market? What if something happens
Yeah.
that throws the whole life sciences industry into turmoil?
That's always a risk no matter what you invest in.
Of course.
Global recession. New regulations, unexpected scientific setbacks. These could create headwinds for the whole sector.
Yeah.
And Veeva wouldn't be immune.
Okay, so even if Veeva executes perfectly,
Right.
there are those external factors
Yeah, external factors.
that could completely derail the trade.
Totally. And let's not forget the human factor.
Right.
What if Veeva stumbles,
Yeah.
make a bad acquisition, lose some key people,
Right.
or just fail to live up to the hype?
So there's execution risk on Veeva's side,
Uh-huh.
competitive risk from IQVIA,
Yeah.
and then just overall market risk that could impact both.
All three.
That's a lot to consider.
It really is. And that's why we always say, this is not financial advice.
Exactly. We're just kind of brainstorming here.
Yeah, exploring ideas.
Not giving recommendations.
Right.
So always do your own research,
Please.
understand those risks,
Yeah.
and talk to a professional before you make any decisions.
For sure. Now, with all those disclaimers out of the way,
Yeah.
I have to admit, there's something kind of exciting about this possibility of seeing this big shift in the life sciences world.
I get it. It's like watching David and Goliath.
It is.
You can't help but root for the underdog,
Right.
especially when they have this momentum.
Especially when it feels like the wind's at their back.
Yeah.
Who knows? This could be the start of something huge.
Yeah.
Maybe Veeva's not just going to, nibble at the edges.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to reshape the whole industry.
All right. So we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
Veeva's performance, their strategies,
The moves they're making,
this potential for disruption,
big potential.
even this pretty outlandish trade idea.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's really about what you take away from this.
Exactly.
What surprised you? What made you think differently?
What are you going to go explore further on your own?
Right. We want to hear from you. So head over to the comments
Yeah, leave a comment.
and share your insights. Let's keep talking about this.
Thanks for joining us on Talk Tickers. We're here to help you navigate this wild world of earnings calls.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back next week with another deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep those earnings calls rolling in.
Keep them coming.
And remember, knowledge is power.
That's right.
Happy investing, everyone. Okay, so we left everyone on a bit of a cliffhanger with this idea of shorting IQVIA.
Yeah,
Let's unpack that a little bit more, play devil's advocate here.
sure.
Really make sure we understand this before anyone gets any wild ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Investing is serious business,
Yeah.
even when we're speculating like this.
Of course.
So remember, the core thesis here
Okay.
is that Veeva is disrupting the old guard.
Right.
And IQVIA, despite their size, is looking a bit like the old guard in this scenario.
Right. So we're basically saying that Veeva is going to eat their lunch when it comes to data and analytics.
Potentially, yeah.
That's a pretty big statement.
It is a big claim,
Yeah.
but you got to look at the evidence. Veeva's winning over these big pharma clients with Vault CRM,
Right.
and that gives them a foot in the door to then offer these data cloud solutions.
Yeah.
IQVIA is playing catch up with their cloud offerings, and that puts them at a real disadvantage.
So it's not just about the tech,
No,
but how Veeva's positioning themselves
it's everything.
as that go-to partner for life sciences companies that are trying to modernize.
Absolutely. They're selling a vision
Okay.
of a more efficient, data-driven future.
Right.
They understand what the industry needs,
Yeah.
and they're building solutions tailored for it.
Okay. I see the logic there.
Mhm.
But we got to be realistic here.
Of course.
There's always that chance that this could completely backfire.
Oh, always a chance.
What are some of the big risks that we should be thinking about with this trade?
Okay, there are a few. First of all,
Yeah.
IQVIA is a huge company.
Right.
They have a lot of resources.
Yeah.
They could acquire a smaller competitor,
Okay.
invest heavily in catching up, or even just slash prices.
Yeah.
You know, make it hard for Veeva.
Right.
So we can't underestimate them.
Right. And what about the overall market? What if something happens in the macro environment that throws the entire life sciences industry kind of into a tailspin?
That's always a risk.
Yeah.
No matter what you invest in,
True.
you know, a global recession,
Right.
new regulations, some crazy scientific setback,
Yeah.
any of that could create a lot of headwinds for the sector.
Right.
And Veeva wouldn't be immune.
Okay. So even if Veeva does everything right, executes perfectly,
Right.
there are those external factors
Yeah,
that could really derail this whole idea.
absolutely. And let's not forget about the human element.
Right.
What if Veeva stumbles?
Yeah. What if they make a bad acquisition?
They could lose key personnel
Right.
or just fail to live up to all the hype.
So there's execution risk on Veeva's side.
Yep.
Competitive risk from IQVIA.
Uh-huh.
And then just overall market risk that could impact both of them.
All of the above.
It's a lot to consider.
It really is. And that's why we always got to say it.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice.
Just exploring ideas.
Yeah, just kind of having fun with it.
A thought experiment.
Right. Always do your own research.
Please.
Understand the risks involved and talk to a professional before you do anything.
Absolutely. Now, with all those disclaimers out of the way,
Yeah.
I got to admit, it is exciting to think about the possibility of a major shift
I know.
in this whole industry.
It is. It's like watching David and Goliath, right?
Exactly.
You can't help but root for the underdog,
Yeah, especially when they have this momentum.
especially when they seem like they have the wind at their backs.
You got it.
And who knows, this could be the start of something really big.
Right. Maybe Veeva's not just going to, you know, kind of take little bites.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to completely reshape the industry.
It's a fascinating story that we're going to continue to follow.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have
Veeva's performance, their strategic moves,
all of the pieces,
this potential for disruption,
a lot of potential.
and even a crazy trade idea.
Why not?
But at the end of the day, what really matters is what you take away from this.
What stood out to you?
What surprised you?
What are you going to go research?
Yeah, what are you going to explore further?
Let us know. Head over to the comments
Yeah, leave us a comment.
and share your thoughts.
Let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely. And thanks for joining us on Talk Tickers.
We are here to help you navigate this world of earnings calls.
This crazy world.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep those earnings calls rolling in.
Keep them coming.
And remember,
What's that?
knowledge is power.
It really is.
Happy investing, everyone.